So we adopted the second step curriculum, right? And that was another one of the programs that I couldn't get a password for at home. I had to take time off from work and I had to go to the school to review it. All right.
Wow.
And I had to sign a waiver that I wouldn't record it, take pictures, or do anything like that.
Did you ask them why?
Because it's license agreement.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
but they're going to teach it to our kids.
Right.
But
And the
you can't.
teachers.
But you
But
can
I
can't
can't
record
say-
it.
And there's like
Sure.
there's a law in the state of Alabama where you're supposed to be able to see
Right. Yes.
everything.
Right.
So I don't know why.
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know
too,
why we can't.
that we have a law that you're supposed to be able to see what your students are.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
doing. Right.
So why not make another law that says you cannot sign for software or app or anything in your school that parents cannot have immediate access to without taking off from work and signing away their rights.
Right.
So there was a group of parents up in Utah. I think it's Concerned Parents of Utah. I think everybody knows of them, but they vetted this material. They spent 140 hours. I don't have 140 hours. I have a job.
Right.
So I took off from work on a Friday and I went up to the school and I literally had their information. I just went in and just made sure it was checking the boxes to make sure it all lined up. But pretty much if you look at the programs and the shiny brochure on the front, like it makes sense. Like, and to give you an example, my daughter, she had a problem with the kid at school and they had to go to the counselor, work it out. And she came home with some material. And of course, I saw the committee for children. So I'm like, what are they? But it's pretty clean. But what you got to do is go back and look at these organizations because right now they're talking about transformation, SEL, all this stuff. So it's all changing. And they know where they're at today. The CEO of Second Step or Castle, one of those, literally said that the future of our schools will look different than they do today. And today, like they're transforming everything. So SEL may have been good and clean in the past, but now they're adding more and more.
They start with a really good sounding thing.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when everybody accepts it, then they start
And then
changing. It's like
implemented.
watching any of these, these TV shows, these TV programs. The first
right.
season's
Oh, yeah,
great, it's very
clean.
pro
Yes.
family.
Yeah.
The next season, you're like, whoa, what
You're
happened to
covering
this?
the kids' eyes.
Right.
Like,
It's
whoa.
exactly the same thing. All I know is I can look up Second Step program from our headquarters in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah. No, that's
Now,
that's all it
I
needs to
know
be.
that I'm cynical, but that's about as far as I needed to go.
Well, this is what I'll challenge the people listening. So when you go look, don't just click on the front page. Like start clicking deeper. And
Yeah.
I go look at their CEO, their board. Then I start clicking their CEO name and searching for interviews because I want to hear what they're saying. And I want to know where this is going in their mindset. And I can promise you, there's not one person sitting up their board that thinks like me, that thinks I'm a conservative,
Right.
that thinks like somebody's family values should be protected. Like it's pretty much pushing all this stuff onto our kids. And when we talk about HB 123, the mental health resources that are coming into our schools, like our kids need to be left alone. Like, why can my child not go to school and learn school? They're talking about we have so many health issues, in our schools right now. We need this mental health, these counselors. We need social. Well, no crap.
Right.
We chased our kids around with a mask for 2 months and said, if you don't take this shot, you're going to kill your grandmother.
Right.
And so we have created this fear. We've pulled them out. Matter of fact, I was sitting with a very known orthopedic surgeon, and I was asking about, do you feel like football's safe? Because I'm just wondering, my little boy gets a little bit bigger.
Right.
I don't know if I want to play football. Anyway, but that conversation went over to, we just recently did a study, or there's a study put out, and they was talking about during the shutdowns, like kids weren't able to play sports and do activities with friends, and it caused so much emotional harm. So we've created this harm because we shut down everything and kept it going and going, and then we built all this fear.
Right.
And so now they're using this as an excuse.
Now they have to fix the problem they created, and they'll
Yes.
create another